7, 8, 9, 11.
This is Sarah and her sister Agnes. This year marks the first time in 3 years Sarah and Agnes have been able to attend school. Their parents died of AIDS 4 years ago. But Sarah and Agnes are not alone. 14 million children in Africa have lost one or both parents to AIDS. Children orphaned by AIDS are 3 times more likely to contract the disease than those living with their parents. And without being able to attend school, Sarah and Agnes were at an even greater risk to contract AIDS. This is the story of how one community in the Manyakrobo district of eastern Ghana has come together to make sure Sarah, Agnes, and numerous other children have a future.
Presidents, we are judges, engineers, ministers, we are the heads of the Ghanaian kingdom. We are family, we are one, we are doctors, we are kings, we are lawyers, we are teachers, we are presidents, we are judges, engineers, ministers, we are the heads of the Ghanaian kingdom. We are family, we are
I am 15 years old.
I'm 14 years old.
I am 17 years old.
12 years old.
14. 12.
What do you want to do in future?
I want to be a nurse.
Engineer.
My college.
I want to be a lawyer in future.
I want to teach the children so that they should have knowledge in
Wonderful.
future.
If you complete JSS, what do you intend?
The story begins nearly 50 years ago at the Kosimbo Dam. The dam was meant to enhance economic growth and be a symbol of prosperity. It didn't work out that way for the people of Manyakrobo. Professor of African Development, Dick Ford, explains.
In the 1950s, Kaiser Aluminum and the Ghana government decided they wanted to produce aluminum in Ghana. They created the largest man-made lake in the world, Lake Volta, created by the Kosimbo Dam. The Kosimbo Dam happened to be in the area of the Manyakrobo, and because they owned no land titles, they received no compensation for losing their land. They were forced off the land into much more marginal, less productive land, and created one of the greatest stories of impoverishment through development that I know of. Given the poverty that the dam created by pushing them off the land, the people have little access to livelihood. Their education levels are less than other parts of the country because their livelihood is less, their income is less, and it's especially severe among the young women. And there is, if you will, a reputation for some of the Krobo women of entering prostitution. Not necessarily because that's what they want to do, but because with the lower access to income, the young women have little option or choice. Many of them go next door to Ivory Coast, where they have begun, as of the mid-'80s, picking up HIV infections. As a result of those infections, they come home and the disease spreads.
In Ghana, the first traditional group that basically decided to organize itself and respond to the challenge of HIV has been the Manyakrobo Queen Mothers Association. They recognized that their children were dying of AIDS. The burden of care for the chronically ill falls on women, and Queen Mothers, being women, decided to take this lead.
These are the Queen Mothers. For over 300 years, the Queen Mothers have been the caretakers of the Manyakrobo region. They are the traditional female leaders responsible for ensuring the social welfare of women and children. Here they are in ritual mourning for those lost in the past year. In the early 1990s, the Queen Mothers began to see how AIDS had ravaged their community. These traditional leaders broke the culture of silence surrounding AIDS and began educating their community about the disease and its prevention. Today, they have focused their attention on the care and education of the 2,000 AIDS orphans within the region. They work with the community to place the orphans with extended family members, respected citizens, and when necessary, they take orphans into their own homes.
Emmanuel,
was given to me through Ghana AIDS Commission, 5 weeks old, straight from Volta Region Hospital. When you enter into, for instance, my home, unless I tell you that this child is an orphan, you will never know, because we enjoy the normal life. I add him home to my children. I'm caring for him. I sleep with him. I enjoy the normal life like a mother and a child with Emmanuel.
He has many mommies.
Many mommies supporting, yes, lot and lot and lot.
In 2004, the Queen Mothers partnered with the Unitarian Universalist United Nations office. The partnership decided the best way to help the AIDS orphans was to focus on education. One of the program's founding members, Genya Peterson, has her own very personal reason for helping.
My personal involvement with the United Nations began in 1946 in a displaced persons camp in Germany where I was born. The world seemed to have forgotten us, but in 1948, a group of women in Argentina noticed that thousands of single mothers and their children were still left in displaced persons camp without any hope of leaving. It is because of their efforts that my mother and I were able to come to the U.S. in 1951. When we first conceived of the Every Child is Our Child program, we believed it would be a simple transfer of money to educate children. I never imagined the community we would become part of.
Oh, atu, 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 atu.
Wonderful to see you.
We are happy today to meet you again. We are happy you are welcome. In fact, like God's design, you are in our midst today, which shows everlasting friendship.
Wow.
And we hope this project is going to bring transformation and development in Kroboland. Pray that children that you are caring for or you are sponsoring will be children that one day will also come and care for you. That is why our program is a family network one, because we want the children to remain in the communities and then learn to be human, and then learn how to care for others, how to have the human feeling with others. So you are building a family, that not that you are just supporting or sponsoring, but we are family in partnership. Thank you.
Education has been shown to be a powerful weapon in the fight against AIDS. And in Ghana, AIDS education begins as early as grade 2. Classroom resources in Manya Krobo are limited, but the children still desperately want to attend. Since the program started, Every Child is Our Child has sent Sarah, Agnes, and 84 other AIDS orphans to school. Without the help of the program, many families simply could not afford to pay the school fees of their adopted children. It is just a beginning, but the lives of these 86 children have been changed forever. In celebration of this fact, Genya Peterson and Fran Mercer of the Unitarian United Nations office were invited by Chief Nene Sakate II to this year's Grand Durbar Festival. Appropriately, the theme for this year's festival was entitled Education, Key to the Development of Manya Krobo.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, this year's celebration is under the theme Education, Key to Development of Manya Kobo. I hope you will all agree with me that the theme is so appropriate towards our development initiative. We are trying to do whatever it takes to develop our human resources, otherwise we may not be able to rub shoulders with the dynamics of global village. We must take our destiny in our own hands, otherwise the future would look very dim.